Welcome back guys to another Zero DTE video, and today Ernie's going to be talking about recovering misaligned trades, so make sure you stay tuned. If you're interested in becoming a pro trader, check out the link in the description where you can find Ernie's education platform. Enjoy guys.
You have a short butterfly on. Now, what you want to hope for is that it doesn't end up right in the middle of that butterfly, because that represents, it looks like about $75 of risk, but you also have about $65 of potential profit. So if it ends up on either side of that butterfly, you're going to make about $65, $70. If it ends up right in the middle, which is a low probability, you can lose up to about $75. It's almost in the middle. It's almost at your max loss, but it's still not that much.
$5.60. Yeah.
Yeah. The fact is, if it goes up a little bit or down a little bit, you're going to be fine.
Okay. So Ernie, just leave it as is.
That's up to you. You now know what the risk to reward is. Your risk to reward is approximately 1-to-1. You have a risk of losing about $75, which is a relatively low probability. And then you have a risk of making about $75, which is a relatively high probability. So you have low probability of hitting the max risk and a pretty high probability of hitting the max profit. So to me, that seems like an okay trade. And it's not a lot of money either way. But you should also recognize that you made a mistake.
I did, yes.
That's a whole nother issue. So the fact that you made a mistake, you need to make sure you log and journal that, and that the reason why you made the mistake was that you didn't match up the strikes and didn't get out of the trade properly. You probably did it because when you created the exiting strategy, it looked like it had a lot more profit in it, and you thought, oh, good, I'll just execute it. And then after executing it, you realize, oh, crap, it didn't close the trade because 2 of my strikes were off. So you made that mistake. Fortunately, it's not providing you with a really bad situation. It's tameable, but it's still a mistake. And so from my point of view, let me just say, overall, better off just leaving it alone. The odds that you're going to make money are pretty good. But what I usually do when I make a mistake is I hold my nose regardless of whether I'm in profit or not, and I close the trade, realizing that it wasn't what I intended, and it doesn't add to my overall analysis of my trades. In fact, excuse it because it was a bad error. In your case, it's your first trade. It doesn't matter. And the amount doesn't matter. You fortunately made a mistake that's not going to hurt you, but it could have been really bad. Now, what you should have done is taken the order. Now, I can show you how to close the current trade that you're on. And this is what you should have done in the beginning.
Sure.
You can go over to down below where it says equities and equity options, and right click just right of where it says XSP. Yeah, right there. Just right click and then choose create closing order. And then you would choose the very first option. The first option will always be to close the entirety of that order. And in this case, it will say buy a butterfly. And so if you chose that right now, it's okay. Nothing's going to happen. That would set up an order for you. And there's the order to close this trade with all the proper strikes and everything matching up. And you'd be able to close it now for a 68-cent debit. Now you bought this for a 75-cent credit, so you probably make a few dollars, small amount of money, which would probably be taken up by the commissions.
Okay. So you would recommend closing it?
That's what I would do.
What if I choose to wait it out?
Then you would have the situation that I described, that there's a small chance of that max risk and there's a better chance of that max profit. A perfectly valid thing to do in this situation. Under most situations, though, if you had aligned just one of those things, you could be in a much dire situation with extremely large amount of potential risk and small profit. You made a benign error, but now you see how to close it, and so you'll know how to close it in the future.
Thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the like button below. If there's any questions that you might have for Coach Ernie, make sure you leave them in the comment section. Thanks guys.